Welcome to BIV Today, the daily podcast from the newsroom of business in Vancouver. I'm Kirk LaPointe, publisher and editor-in-chief. U.S. President Joe Biden has used his first months in office to make several significant economic moves. Of course, there is the big stimulus package that's had to be maneuvered through both houses of Congress. But a U.S. president also has a lot of latitude with executive orders to make some profound changes. One we're quite familiar with here in Canada was his first day call to cancel the Keystone XL pipeline. But one that has garnered less notice, but might be very important for us in Canada, has been his order to review supply chains with an aim to address systemic weaknesses for America that provide other countries with leverage, countries like China, for instance. And the ultimate weakness for a lot of companies these days, cybersecurity issues. A Vancouver-based mining firm has a lot of stake in the Biden review, given that rare earth minerals are critical in the development of many new technologies. And the company owns a very large northern British Columbia field of exactly those elements. China plays a large role in this area worldwide too, but it's decided recently to halt some exports of these rare minerals. So let's explore how the ground might be changing, no pun intended, with Craig Taylor. He's CEO and president of Defense Metals. Good to see you.
Thanks for having me.
Listen, these deposits don't get a lot of public attention. I mean, they're rare after all, but they're pretty crucial in the development of a lot of new technologies. Give us a really quick primer on their significance.
Well, they're integral in all of the electric vehicle production that we're seeing today. We see our deposits, neodymium and praseodymium, NdPr for short. And those are the high-powered, lightweight magnets that go into all of the electric vehicle motors. So you're seeing that through Tesla, through every single advancement of electric vehicles, as well as wind generation. The solar wind power is critical now with the Biden bill going forward. So you see wind farms picking up, and that's all rare earth related as well. And our deposit is strategically located outside of Prince George, BC. And those two critical minerals are the crux of our deposit.
Yeah, I want to talk about that. You have about 1,700 hectares north of Prince George and all of that. And essentially, what are its main ingredients? These two elements here?
Yeah, neodymium and praseodymium, as I said, make up the powerful lightweight magnets. You've got wind turbines. You've got 900 pounds of magnets in every wind turbine. Korea's just put an initiative forward to build a huge wind farm, as well as Great Britain. And every day when you check the news, someone else is coming forward with another wind farm initiative or electric vehicle initiative, whether it be a manufacturer or a country moving towards the electrification of the world, really.
So what's the advantage of these minerals, Craig, and as opposed to other ones that are used in things like generators and engines and things like that? I mean, is it their weight? Is it their efficiency? What's the real? Primarily
the power and the weight, because they're not only found in wind turbines and electric vehicles, but they're found in all sorts of military applications, in all of your electronics, in refrigeration, surveillance systems, your cell phone. So anything that has a small motor typically will have an NdPr magnet in it.
Yeah, they're rare. Do we have enough of them worldwide?
Well, we do not right now. This is the issue. And so, we were consulting with one of our consultants down in the States this week, who's an expert in the space. He's been studying it for 15 years. He's been to over 130 different processing plants and deposits worldwide. So he said the end users right now are concerned because 80% of the production comes out of China, but China now has enough internal need that they may be a net importer rather than exporter. And North America or the Western world is just not prepared for that.
We're not prepared for it, but we better be, right? I mean, it's apparent now that China and the United States are going to have some testy times ahead. And that probably then affects us here in Canada.
It does. And we talk about the weaponization of rare earths, but I don't even think it's a weaponization coming out of China now. I think it's just they have enough demand internally that they have electric vehicle mandates, they have green mandates, they have needs internally and there's not enough processing outside of China for the West to fulfill their own needs. So we're way behind the 8 ball. And what China did in the 80s is they put forward a directive to become the world leader in rare earth development. And so the quote was, rare earth is going to be to China what oil is to Saudi Arabia. And so they followed that path, and they now, 80% of production is now done in China, as I mentioned. And the West has now woken up to this, but it takes time. Mountain Pass has just got DOD funding, as has Energy Fuels, as has Linus in the United States to do processing, but it still takes years to get online through these cracking facilities and processing facilities. And there's an effort being made, and there has to be an effort being made, but it's going to take some time.
You say that maybe the focus ought not to be necessarily on weaponization of rare earth, but I mean, very clearly there are political consequences to this, including a country's own economic progress and its stationing in the wide world and its ability to develop these new technologies. How is this shaping up now?
Well, again, we're lagging, and Elon Musk has a factory now in China, so he's able to take advantage of what they've achieved already as far as processing and their downstream production. Whereas we're trying to catch up, and it's critical. I mean, it goes from mining to processing to magnet production to vehicle production or cell phones or air conditioning or whatever it may be. So there's a whole chain of manufacturers and job opportunities and really opportunities for the West that they have to take advantage of, and we're working towards that.
We saw certainly during the Trump administration a real effort to assert America's economic supremacy, to look at trade deals that were going to be favorable to the United States, to look at tariffs that would penalize a lot of countries for trying to move into American territory and all this. Joe Biden doesn't appear to be wanting to rattle that unduly, but what does his review of supply chains mean, do you think, for us here?
Well, I disagree. According to our consultants in the United States, he hasn't swayed from that directive at all. He's actually got a fairly firm stance when it comes to China. And so the $2 trillion green initiative he's put forward is a real shot over the bow. I mean, he needs to secure the supply chain. He's made that clear, and he's making the financial commitment.
But is he? Are we going to see, do you think, a shift in U.S. policy toward a supply chain that almost always flows through China for an awful lot of American goods?
Well, it's imperative, and they have made efforts, but China funds all of their manufacturing, and we don't know to what degree. So the DOD has invested, I think, $60 million in Linus in Texas, $30 million in Mountain Pass. Energy Fuels got funding, and in Canada we've done the same through SRC, Saskatchewan Research Council. Mm-hmm. So there's an effort being made, but it's not large enough yet, in my opinion. And I think it's increasing.
And what signals are you sensing from China, not just to serve its own domestic market, but to really deal with the supply chain issues for the rest of the world? Is it possible that it's going to close itself a little bit to the Western world?
Well, I think it's beyond closing itself. I think they're looking beyond their borders for sourcing. I mean, they're very aggressive. They understand how critical this is, and they're mobile. They're agile. The Chinese government and their funding and their people really take steps towards securing their economic future, whereas we're a little bit slow sometimes given the Western political environment.
Yeah. So what's the pressure on a company like yours, Craig, in order to, be the loyal national citizen here?
Good question. We're hoping, and we have had minor government funding from the Canadian government. We do have some more that we're entertaining through SRC. But until the Canadian government comes and funds these capital-intensive projects, it's difficult not to look at all your options.
Yeah, and do you have time on your side with this? Can you really afford to kind of wait it out?
Well, no, we've got an extremely aggressive timeline. We've gone from a bulk sample to pilot plant to PEA within 2 years. So we've been very aggressive, and we have future plans to do our PEA, a flotation. Sorry, we've done our flotation pilot plant. We're going to do now hydromet pilot plants, similar to what they're doing at Mountain Pass. We'll do some more drilling, and then that's going to be on the way to do a pre-feas study, hopefully early next year. So we're moving as quickly as we can. And then there's permitting issues as well. So we've started our environmental to try to achieve a permit in the next couple of years. So we just move and advance, de-risk, and eventually we'll get to production, and we'll see who wants to take it.
Last area, I mean, this, of course, this issue didn't really garner a whole lot of attention when Justin Trudeau and Joe Biden had their virtual meeting recently. But am I correct to presume that there is a lot of behind-the-scenes activity taking place in all this because of the strategic importance of these rare earth elements?
Yeah, absolutely. We've just been invited to a symposium between the U.S. and Canadian governments in pursuit of critical minerals funding. So there's definitely things behind the scenes in the works, and which is great, which is really, really good.
So what would be your objective, you think, in 2021, for instance, in terms of progress on this issue, so that you feel like you've got a market, either a domestic market or a continental market for the important minerals that you're sitting on top of?
Yeah, our timeline is very clear and our objective is very clear. We're going to do our PEA. We're going to do a hydromet pilot plant. We're going to do a drill program. We're going to pursue MOUs and offtake agreements through a contract we signed with Wellsbach out of Singapore in working towards our pre-feasibility study next year. So we're moving as fast as we can, as fast as the government and permits will allow.
So in a sense, our government is running against the clock, not you.
They are, because of the parameters in place. You have to go through, and listen, we spoke to SRC, and there is a possibility, a remote possibility, that the governments will eliminate some of these parameters to make it expedite the process, and I'm hoping that happens. We haven't seen it yet, but that is a possibility. That's a good question.
Such a fascinating area. I mean, you're sitting on top of some really interesting things over here over the next 10, 15, 20 years of development with a lot of technology. I want to thank you for your time today and try to help us explain what they are and what some of the implications are for all of this, Craig.
Yeah, thanks so much for having me. We're doing our best here, and I think it's it's a global issue. The Europeans, the North Americans, they're doing their best, and we'll secure the supply chain and move it forward.
All right. Sounds simpler than I'm sure it is.
Thanks.
Craig Taylor is the CEO and the president of Defense Metals. You've been watching BIB Today. I'm Kirk LaPointe, publisher and editor-in-chief. Thanks for being with us. We'll see you again.